attention. Let us have 13 more. Being a successful, you must show it until we have evidence. First and foremost, we do not labor in vain. Some people say we will labor in vain. We expanded to take care of the present fear crisis. All somebody or one people more. The one who performs what we have as soon. Our life is 24/7. Because I don't use the time enough. And also, training center, the edifice called John. Because the tools need to be sharpened. We have the place where we are standing now. I can testify to that. I am an actor. I have performed on this stage. So we have the reporters. We have the remodeling of the Edo Production Center. Today it is, you know what that means. We have His Excellency, and of course, it will be running. Please, a round of applause. We have the Edo Ball. The Edo Ball is the first of its time. I can go on and on and on and on. But we have, I swear, it will do one. Welcome, sir. The Distinguished Secretary to Edo State Government. The head of service, yes, all of them.
For me, it's a bit emotional because this is perhaps the last time I'll be addressing you. But I am also honestly very excited because I have a sense of fulfillment. Fulfilled because when we started in 2016, we had a promise. We had a vision for our Edo. We had a sense of the Edo of our dreams. We're not there yet, but if you look back today, where we were 8 years ago, you will agree that we have made tremendous progress. Sometimes it's very easy to forget. And that's why you need your story to be told. I can't remember if people, I don't know if people remember that by 6 p.m. or latest 7 p.m. in Benin City in 2016, November, you will not find a chemist open. And if you are ill, God help you. This city was dark and dingy. You could not drive through urban markets because people were shedding on the road. Not to talk about the civil and public service. And you've seen that clip, because the first day I resumed on November 14th, The two places I visited that day were Palm House and Benin Technical College. And I can recall very vividly the statesmanship of those institutions. 8 years after, we can beat our chest and say that we have been able to turn things around. In every area. But let me just focus on the civil and public service. Because, like we've always said, this is the engine of government. If the civil service does not work, if, like an engine, the civil service is stalling, that vehicle cannot make progress. Edo is making progress today because the engine of government has been retooled and it's now beginning to work. It's not there yet, but I can assure you that God hearing our prayers, if we get the next governor who the people want and believe will be a governor, what we've seen in the last 8 years will be a joke compared to what we'll see in the next 8 years. What have we achieved and why did we decide that we're going this way? First, if the civil service does not work, if the public services don't work, then what is the fate of citizens? We are supposed to provide services to our citizens and our society, isn't it? Build roads, provide social services like education and healthcare, provide law and order, ensure that people can move, transportation, and on and on. That is what we're supposed to do. At least organize society in such a way that people can do these things for themselves. That is the purpose of government. That's why we politicians seek office. I can say with all sense of pride that the way the civil service was thinking, their thought process in 2016 has changed dramatically over the last year. And the first thing you do in any change process is to work on the mind of the actors. And I am very, very glad and happy today that this is just a cross-section of you. And I can feel you, I can feel the response from you. I can feel that connection. We are not talking. 8 years ago, we were not talking. Because the way you saw things was totally different from the way we said we should be headed. So, from that perspective, I think we thank God, we've achieved. The other things people talk about, I believe, fall out from the first. Whether it's the refurbishment of your offices. Honestly, if you control the most money in the state, what I mean government, civil public service, why should your offices not be the best? I don't know, tell me, why should they not be the best? You should set the standard. If someone comes into your office, the kind of offices we've met, why would they respect you? Where people, you go into offices and you ask, where is this officer? Oh, she's not on seat. Where's that guy? We're not on seat. And sometimes, what is the issue? They don't even have functioning toilets. If you are treated well and you are not under stress, particular financial stress, you will not be as tempted as you are today, or exposed to the kind of temptations you are. So those are the things going through my mind. And I said, by the grace of God, by the time I leave office, these are the things we would have achieved. And And I said, sometimes I should stop prophesying. Because like everything I say I'll do, I end up doing it. Or anything I say ends up happening. I said, I will be the last governor in Edo State to use paper. But specifically, 6 years ago, I said, by the grace of God, no other governor coming after me will be analog. So as part of making your work easier, and as part of making your work more meaningful, we decided to look back at the whole processes. How do you work? How can the process be made easier? How can it be automated for more efficiency? And I will tell you something. Even though that was my wish, I didn't know how it will happen. I just imagine the resistance we will face. That it will be tough for the workers of Edo State to adopt technology. I tell you, when we cut over September 1st, 2023, I was shocked. It was one of my happiest days. And the level of adoption of technology by the civil public servants of Edo State is unrivaled in Africa. So it's not just about the governor that has the ideas and the foresight. It's about the people he's governing who are very, very sophisticated, who are exceptional people, who are endowed with so much resilience, energy, skill, and intelligence. That is the issue. I was able to successfully implement the programs I implemented because of who you are. Whether it's you, whether it's the teachers, whether it's the healthcare workers, the level of adoption of technology across the board has been phenomenal. Yesterday evening, I went to inspect what we're doing in Stella Obasanjo Hospital. I'm sure with time you will get to see some of the things we're doing. That area is supposed to be our health hub, where we are building a whole health ecosystem. We've remodeled, refurbished, in fact, rebuilt the Stella Obasanjo Hospital. But next to it is a health hub, which is a 3-story building that will, on about 10,000 square meters of space, that will take all the health institutions and put them in one location. We've done it for agric, we've done it for education, and we've done it for the built environment. And now the last one is remodeling the hub for design and infrastructure. So at the end of the day, government is going to operate from only 6 hubs. And all of you will be operating from those hubs. And I pray and hope that never again in our history we will have a situation where government is renting private buildings to do its business. Government is government. After God is government. And the head of government is the governor. The implication is that if you reduce government and put things ahead of government, other institutions or individuals ahead of government, we get what we used to get. So this morning, I've come to do a few things. First, to appreciate you. To thank you from the bottom of my heart. And to let you know that I truly, truly am grateful. Because I could not have achieved a fraction of what we have achieved if I didn't have you and you didn't adopt the stance you adopted. You could have fought all the way. You could have gone on strikes. You could have resisted in all forms and would not have been able to achieve what you achieved. But you didn't. You were watching when you were not even certain. And once you saw sparks of light and hope, you jumped at it and supported the cause. The second thing I came to tell you this morning is that we are on a journey. All I have done is to restart the journey with you. And it's a long journey. The destination is still very far. The destination is how to rebuild our country. How do we ensure that our children don't grow up feeling that the purpose of their life is to go somewhere else and live? How do we ensure that we build a society that can compare with those places that we all yearn to visit? How do we build a state where people want to come to? They're asking, what are your travel plans for next year? They'll say, oh, I want to go to a place called Edo State. And for that to happen, there are so many things we still need to do. And it's only you that can help us set that direction. Because the purpose of government is to set a direction and create the enabling environment to achieve that purpose. Government does not do it itself. Government has no money. The money government has is the people's money. So, it's a contradiction when people come to government and work for government and expect to be very rich. No. Because the money in government belongs to the people. If you want to be rich, then go and do business and take risk. But as long as you work for government, you are a fiduciary. You are a trustee of public assets. It's not your own. But you cannot and should not live in penury. The system should be designed and built such that you, as a public servant, has as much opportunity or your children have as much opportunity in Nigeria as the children of the wealthiest. That is what Nigeria used to be. So it's a journey. There's still a lot of work to be done. But the good news is that from what we have achieved in the last 8 years, there's nothing that we cannot achieve here. Take it from me, there is no state as rich as Nigeria. There's no state in Nigeria that is as rich as Edo State. I know it, and it's not just a hype. Because we have practically what most other people have in Nigeria. But we have something they don't have. It's centuries of us being able to organize ourselves and build our own systems. It's the quality of the human capacity we have in Edo that makes the difference. So, whether it's in the area of building infrastructure, there's much more infrastructure to be built. Whether it's in the area of making investments in critical infrastructure like electricity and fiber, there's so much more to be done. The future for Edo is, in terms of infrastructure, is having electricity and fiber optic connection. That is the future. Roads can always be built and will always be built. But if we have those two, then the sky is our limit. The process of reforming our institutions is an ongoing one. We have only just started. There's still so much that we need to do. Once you start with technology, you enter a totally different highway. And there's so much innovation that you have to keep coping up with. There's still a lot we need to do about securing ourselves. Because we've achieved most of what we have achieved today in Edo State because we were able to stabilize the security of Edo State. Because people now feel that Edo is safe. And there's a perception of safety. More people are coming in to look for opportunities. And that is leading to more people making investments and creating more opportunities. There's still a lot to be done to secure ourselves. Edo is a transport hub. The country cannot move without Edo. And within Edo itself, for years, we never thought clearly about how to move our people. It's an absurdity. It's crazy to imagine that you can move 200 million people with their goods by road alone. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. So there's a lot of work we still need to do in building our transport infrastructure and making Edo that hub where everybody must come. In terms of economic development, we just started. In 5 years, we're doing almost 70,000 hectares of land for palm oil alone. We have almost 50,000 hectares of land under cultivation for cassava alone. There's so much more to be done in other crops, grains, rice, maize. But if we don't feed ourselves and have surplus to sell, export, then we're going nowhere. We've done very well with restarting our educational system. But having started, we cannot stop again. Those children we started with in Edo Best, Primary 1, are now graduating to junior school. New ones are coming in. What happens to them in 3, 5, 10 years? So, it's a journey. I'm finishing the first part of the journey with you. But the journey does not end. It has to continue. The good thing is that we have tested the engine in the first phase of the journey. We know the engine is sound. There's still a bit of retooling we need to do. We need to add some parts to make the engine rev and move faster. So, don't worry, we started. There are many parts to the vehicle. We need to continue to increase the capacity of that engine and add any other parts to this vehicle so that it can carry more services or more activities. My last point is that where we are today, with what we have achieved in 8 years, given all the fights, all the troubles, right? To achieve what we have achieved today, you know what it has cost us. The next phase of the journey will mean that we don't have to fight some of the battles we fought 8 years ago. We have established a new ground norm. And by the grace of God, by next week, same time, it will be clear. So the rate at which we are going to move forward, if we want to make the right decision, will be unparalleled. You don't have to deal with issues of lions and tigers, non-state actors who are trying to dominate the states, institutions that are really, they're past their time in history, actors who did not prepare themselves for the current state. You're going to be dealing with what bothers the Gen Zs. And the next generation. Because they are more. They are the majority. Those are the kind of things we're going to be dealing with. And therefore we cannot afford to make any mistake. Any mistake will be too costly. When I say the next election is a do or die, what I mean is that, God forbid they do, then means we will die. That is why they cannot. Do you understand? I mean, if they do that, can you even imagine what could happen if those characters, and if you see all of them together, one common thread is that they are all uneducated. None of them has worked in a proper organization, like the civil service. So they have no restraints, because it's like they're just wild animals. No restraints. So you see one of them take over power, what it will mean to us, and this is our journey. So my message to you, final message to you, is that this is a risk we cannot afford to take. We face an existential threat. It's about, the risk is about having people who have no idea of the direction we are going in terms of this journey. So they won't even know when they are pulling us back, like it used to happen. So it's not about me. It's about, let's sit down and say, okay, this is democracy. You guys you're contesting for power. But tell us in specific terms what you intend to do for us. You know, what shocks me the most, with all of them, even one of the parties that I hoped, because of their level of education, they will know better, is that they don't even know what we have achieved in the last 8 years. They don't understand how the civil service works. Somebody said we introduced e-gov because we want to steal, we want to burn documents. So it's not about Obaseki again. It's about you, the risk you face. They don't understand how to read the balance sheets. They have no sense of finance. So the things you need to make the decisions to keep the system going, they can't, they don't know. So why should we allow them close? They have nothing, they've not offered us anything. All they have offered, all what they're arguing on, all they're campaigning on is federal rights and violence. But they forget that they are not more than us. Those who want to move forward are much more than them. So my message to you is that all of you here today, and those who are not here, you face a major risk if we don't make the right decision on Saturday. It's like a life and death decision. So there's no sitting on the fence. You are all going to go out and make sure you get people mobilized so that the majority can come and express themselves. Are you hearing me? Yes. It's about you. Because any wrong decision is going to affect you first, the most. Do you understand? Yes. We have established a new direction. And I am so glad that God is with us. Because one of the biggest burdens I've had to carry as a governor, particularly this second term, is who will take over from me. I knew the kind of person, the characteristics, but I did not know how and where I could find that person. So I cannot thank God enough. And also thank him, the person, enough for accepting to make the sacrifice. That Mr. Asolume Ighodalo agreed to forgo so much to come and serve and continue from where I was stopped. I think it's God's blessings. Forget about his achievements. Resigned from the board of almost 16 companies, including the largest company in Nigeria, to come and serve the states whose revenues are not half of a fraction of what those companies earn. I think this is a major sacrifice. Those other people, do they have another job? Have they been able to sacrifice anything in their lives? But why I am so confident this morning and standing before you talking before is that here is a man who was born into a home where it was about public service. His mother, his late mother in blessed memory, is Nigeria's first female permanent secretary. So he grew up in the home of civil servants. He understands what the civil service is supposed to be. That is the life he led. So I am so happy and glad that he accepted. And I will leave Edo feeling so fulfilled if he can sit on that red chair as a governor of the state. So this morning, I came here to say thank you. Remind you that it's a journey we just started. And the road is still long and cozy. And in some cases, it's still rough. That we face a major risk because those who are contesting with us to come get power in Edo State have no idea where we are and what we have achieved and where we're going. And that God has been kind to us to touch the heart of somebody who is not only, who doesn't only have the pedigree, who has the upbringing, but more importantly, shown it by sacrifice that he's now ready to serve. So my message this morning is that the best send-off you can give to me, the best thank you can give to me, is to go out and work to make sure that Asuleme Ighodalo becomes the next governor of Edo State. Amen! So on that note, I want to thank you. I want to let you know how truly appreciative I am. And let you know that I really, really love all of you guys. On that note, let me invite Mr. Asuleme Ighodalo. Let's sit down. As a child of a civil servant who did all his homework under my mother's desk, I thank you, sir. The Edo State Public and Civil Service has become #1 in Nigeria. Since its decimation in 1975-76 and in 1986, we have rebuilt. And I thank you, great men and women in this room. You're wonderful. When I see the way you work from when I used to come here 15, 16 years ago, I see the remarkable change. Governor Obaseki, good afternoon. Secretary to the State Government, good afternoon. Our head of service and the leader of this magnificent group, good afternoon. Distinguished permanent secretaries, because I must salute permanent secretaries especially because permanent secretaries are the engine of government. I remember my mother used to say that the commissioner could set policies, but she could sign his 50 naira weekend allowance, and he could never go past that 50 naira, no matter what happened. Permanent secretaries were strong. They were men and women of courage, and they developed Nigeria. I only wish what happened in 75, 76 never happened. But I want to say this. Governor Obaseki has done a remarkable job. I can only, and when I say this, our opponents use it wrongly,
because like Governor Obaseki said, there are many things they really don't fully understand. I will continue, by the grace of God Almighty, where he is working. He hasn't stopped, because he will work till 12 noon, 12th November. So he won't stop. So it will be a continuation. So people keep talking about stop, there is no stop. So at 12:01, 12th November, I will continue what he just finished doing. You all here will be a priority. We'll work well together, we'll speak to each other, we'll help each other, we'll function for each other. The determination is that the work that has been done in the last 8 years, which is tremendous foundation laying, tremendous going down, so that we can go up, we will continue. Edo State will definitely become the #1 sub-sovereign in Africa with the foundation we have. That will be our focus. A strong foundation has been laid in every area of our lives, every area of our social life and our economic life. A strong foundation. If you look at what has happened to businesses are coming into Edo State. Somebody said recently that in the last 8 years there hasn't been 1 naira of new investments. That shows extreme lack of knowledge. Because all you need to do is drive through Benin, drive through Edo State, drive through some parts, rural and urban, and you see the tremendous and massive change that has occurred. God blessed Edo State with abundant resources. 50 times what Singapore had in 1961. If the rest of the larger country does not want to take off, we in Edo State must provide an umbrella for ourselves to take off. Edo State has the capability capability to easily become a 100 billion naira monthly revenue economy. Easily. And when I was on the Man Around Town talk show this morning, I said it. If we complete the work, or when we complete the work Governor Obaseki is doing on security, just complete that work. And we have about 700,000 Edo indigenes who are working well in the diaspora. We bring half home on holiday twice a year. They spend $4,000 twice a year. They don't spend it in Lagos, because most of them get to Lagos, come to Benin for a day, and run back. They spend it here for 2 weeks. The reflation in our economy will be phenomenal. So that's even if you have a lazy governor, who all he focuses on is what Obaseki has done in security. And we won't be lazy. Every foundation we will build on. And we will, like I said up there, be partners in progress. There is no political office holder that can ever succeed if the civil and public service do not work in tandem with that person. It's impossible. Many of you have read Lee Kuan Yew's book. I knew the first thing he did was focus on the civil service. Ensure they were comfortable. Like our governor said, the civil service is not truly where you make money. Civil servants make money when they retire, either by writing books or by going into business. But you must live comfortably, because we all go to the same markets. Not only that, you drive the economy. So you must be in a comfortable state to think through how you're going to drive that development of that economy. There's no other way. And I promise you all, by the grace of God Almighty, that the great work Governor Obaseki has done, we will continue it as regards your welfare. He's taking your welfare extremely seriously. There's still a lot more to be done, and by God's grace, if we can build that 100 billion naira revenue monthly economy, we will do the work. I thank you for what you've done so far. I can only beg that you give to us the same level of dedication, loyalty, and commitment that you've given Governor Obaseki. We will make you all proud. We will make you proud. You know, one of the worst things you can have is leadership that you're not proud of, leadership that you cannot point to as your leader. And that will not happen to us in Edo State. God has a special place for Edo State. I have this strong belief that Edo State is a driving force for the development of Nigeria. When we develop Edo State and take Edo State to the next level, Nigeria will start coming up. We will be the catalyst for growth. We will pull up all other peer governments that are serious. And that's the way Nigeria will grow. I thank you all. We're going to work hard in the next 4 days. At least, I'm not sleeping. I don't sleep again. I don't think Governor Obaseki sleeps. I can't sleep until Sunday night. We're going to keep working extremely hard so that we don't give those who don't mean well for us, those who don't know how to even mean well for us, a chance, even a sniffing chance at trying or getting near office. We can't afford that mistake. The SSG and I were talking a few minutes ago, and we know that it will be a painful disaster for the economy of Nigeria, not just Edo State, for the well-being of the people of Edo State, for the social infrastructure that requires Edo State. We probably will go back 100 years. God forbid. But that's what happens. That's what happens when we vote and exercise our right for the wrong reasons. I urge you all, each person, please between today and Saturday, find 20 people that you encourage to understand why we must vote right, that you encourage to step out to come and vote. It is paramount, it is fundamental, it is critical that we all come out in our numbers to vote on Saturday. Because what we hear, if we don't come out in numbers, is frightening. The plans those people have for themselves, not us, by God's grace, not us, it's frightening. And they don't have boundaries, they don't have limits. So we have to stand for ourselves, we have to fight for ourselves. We vote, we protect our votes, right up to when they come back into Benin, wherever you're voting, and the results are safely announced. Those who are polling agents, be careful. Please be very careful. You have to check the beavers. You have to check. You have to check the result sheets. You can't behave like the virgins that fell asleep before the bridegroom came. You have to stay fully awake. Fully. And you have to pay attention. Because you carry on your shoulders the lives of 5.2 million people. And their lives we cannot afford to toy with. Again, I thank you all. By the grace of God Almighty and the goodwill of the people of Edo State and your immense support, I look forward to working with you. Like Dr. Obaseki said, by God's grace, my first full day in office will be spent with you. My first full day. I will have a town hall and get as many of us as can get in there, and then we'll talk. And then we'll talk about what the plans are, how we'll all work together regarding those plans, so that in the shortest possible time, Edo State becomes a first world sub-sovereign. I thank you all. God Almighty continue to bless us. If you don't have
all of us civil and public servants in Edo State to the best governor this country has at the moment. Again, I say it with every sense of responsibility. We have been seeing governors. We have never seen this type. So I want to thank you, sir, for all that you have done for us, civil and public servants. We cannot thank you enough. A lot has been said about it. I wish I can say a lot more. Because usually when I talk about the things, last year we had a set of visitors from Bayelsa State. When they were coming, their driver took them through Sample Road and then they saw the secretariat building. And I don't know what happened. Somebody told them that that was a 5-star hotel. And so when they got to my office, and I had to take them back to the secretariat to show them some of the things that had happened, and they said to me, we thought this was a 5-star hotel. I said, yes, it's 5-star, but not 5-star hotel. Thank you very much. I can go on and on and on and on, but I know that we are constrained in terms of time. Let me also thank Dr. Asma Udalo. Thank you for coming to talk to us today, in spite of your very, very busy schedule. May God bless you, sir. We have heard you. Everything will be well by the grace of God. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you.